My name is Bonani William Goto. I was born some 43 years ago in a small town called, it's a township, black area called Parais Dumahole. I am a Xhosa by tribe, but I grew up in a Sesotho-speaking area environment.
William was born into a South Africa where blacks were suppressed by the apartheid regime. Blacks and coloreds were kept separate from whites and lacked many vital rights.
I thought that apartheid was a very unkind system, especially to those who were on the receiving side of it. So it really messed up people's lives, and it really tore our country apart. So I think it was a very bad system.
At the same time, Tilman Slabbert, an Afrikaner, grew up in the same South Africa, but on the other side of apartheid.
I was born on a farm under apartheid. What I can remember for myself from growing up since I was a small boy, I sense it was extremely unfair, especially the racism in apartheid. But I was fortunate from my parents' side. They were, you can call it, a bit enlightened, more than the other people. So in that way I got grace to see things different. And I think if you think back of how the kind of treatment they got and how they took it, then you can really have respect for many black people, and especially today that people are not bitter and accepting one another. That is also that you can respect.
When William was about 15 years old, he became a Christian and light began to shine. But still, he had a longing for something more.
The question that I had in my heart as I was really searching was, where can I get people who live this life that I see in the Bible? And I really longed for what I saw there. And I thought, but they lived in the times of Paul and John and those people. And I read in Acts how they lived, the friends there. And I thought, I want that life too.
In 1990, William met Tilman Slabbert, who had now become a Christian and an active missionary.
I learned to know William the first time when I arranged a meeting where I invited a brother to come and speak, a brother from Europe, to come and speak at a meeting. So I advertised it and I had invited as many as possible students and staff. And I thought maybe they can hear something about the gospel.
And when Tilman spoke to me, I sensed the same spirit and the same things that he was looking into in the Bible. When I found them, it was like finding a well in a desert, an oasis. So when I first met the friends, I remember it was in the dining house of the Slabberts, and I met these people, and I sensed such warmth from them and a spirit of humility that I never see in especially white people, you know. So it was something unique for me and something different, and I thought, this is it. I found this jewel. I thought lately about almost like a coincidence, because it was around the time when Mandela was released or was about to be released. So about a week or a few weeks before he was released, I remember I was watching it on TV and I saw him released. And a few weeks after that, I made contact with the church. So it was like an interesting coincidence, like a liberation. You know, the other one is more earthly, and the other one, I got the spiritual kind of liberation.
Tilman Slabbert belonged to Brunstad Christian Church, and William started attending their meetings. But apartheid was still present in South Africa.
So I think it was quite a challenge for him to come. We didn't roll out the red carpets for him. So not all the families in the church were, you can say all of them are coming from an apartheid background. But of course we came in the church and had a better understanding of the gospel. But that doesn't mean you, in your way of doing things, you are saved.
Some of them had a baggage, you know, from the past, and they are not used to interacting with black people. It's something new to them. So initially they were like stiff, and I would be thinking, but okay, I understand they're new. So I would try to greet them. Sometimes they wouldn't greet back. I remember one brother, I don't know whether I should tell the story. He said to me when he was young, as a young boy, he thought, if he touched the hand of a black person, he would also turn black. And so it wasn't because he didn't like them, but he had that fear. And I remember I met him for the first time, and he was this new friend that I met, whom when I tried to greet, he didn't greet me back. But now, had I known that background, I would have understood even better. So, but he changed so much that at one stage we went as a group of friends. We went to my hometown, in the town part of it, the white part of it. And we went to do a lot of things, few things. And one of the things was we went to swim. And it was around 1991. So things were still separate. Although on paper they were integrated. But in reality, in some small towns like my town, the races were not allowed to come together. So we went together as friends to swim there. It was very hot, so we really needed a swim. So everybody swam, and when I tried to go in, it was my turn to jump into the pool. And that big burly man, he tried to stop me, said, "No way, we don't allow black people here." And I remember that brother, he took him on, the one who couldn't greet me initially. He took him on, and he was zealous, and he said, "No, you must be allowed to swim." Meaning me, he fought on my behalf, so I was amazed,
I've never seen him reacting to any of these things in a bad way. What I know, he sometimes talked to the persons and told them in a nice way, this is not good to say it in that way, this or that way. But I've never experienced any bad from him, or that he was offended or bitter. That I've never seen.
The way I react to people when they behave poorly or badly towards me has been that I'm tempted, obviously, as a human being, to be upset by what they do or to be angry, and it's there in my nature. But through the gospel, it has been possible that I could find that and not see the problem as being the other person, although I'm tempted that it is them, but the problem is in me, and I could get light, and God could speak to my heart and say, "But you are angry, it's you who needs help. It's you who's blind and naked and needs salvation." So I would find that, and I would hate it with my whole heart. Then I'm not limited by who they are and what they do and what they think. Then I have more room to accommodate as many as possible. Yes.
To repay evil with good, then you really have to hate your own life. Because somebody can do evil to you, you can react good or act good, but it's only when you find your own life and your own pride and your own greatness, and you humble yourself there and accept it from God's hand, then you come in the freedom. And the freedom that is born from there, that is a real life. That is not something you act. That is really, then you come to real goodness, and you really have nothing against anybody.
Many people, many groups of people try to bring the different races together, but it's very much outward. They can't deal with what's inside, and that's what I find unique in the church, that we zoom on into the sin and we tackle the problem that is in us, and that brings true brotherhood and long-lasting friendship. I must say, eternal friendship. Yes. And I've known these people now for 20 years, so that's only been good.